Hello everybody, Omeo here, and today we are going to have a quick look at the game World of Warships. In this video I will be doing a quick overview of what World of Warships is, so if you're thinking about downloading the game but you aren't sure about what this game is, then this is the video for you. World of Warships is a naval combat simulator MMO that puts you in control of ships from different eras of war. Matches are between other players and are 15 versus 15 deathmatch style, in which you win by either capturing your opponent's base or by destroying all of their ships. There are 4 types of classes of ships you can choose from, and each have a different role in fights. There are the destroyer class, the cruiser class, the battleship class, and the carrier class. There's also multiple nations you can choose from, mainly Japan, Britain, Russia, and the United States. Keep in mind this is an open beta game and they are adding new nations even as we speak. Each nation has their advantages and disadvantages, such as the Royal Navy of Japan has extremely good torpedoes, however, their American counterparts have much better guns. Now, just to do a quick summary of the classes here, the destroyers are the scouts of the team, as you can see here. They are very small, they are very highly maneuverable, and have very high speed. However, their firepower and their armor is lacking compared to the other classes. They also carry 2 secondary abilities, as you can see right here. There's smokescreen and the engine boost. Now, both of these allow the destroyer class to sneak up on their opponents and launch their torpedoes from close range, and all destroyer classes carry torpedoes. This is their main armament. Mostly this is how they take down the battleships and the cruisers, although you can still take down those ships with your guns, especially if you are an American destroyer. However, mostly these ships just stick to detecting enemy units and destroying each other. Next is the cruiser class. The cruisers are the workhorses of the team. They are there to hunt down the enemy team's destroyers and other cruisers. Certain cruisers are also armed with torpedoes. These are mainly the cruisers of the Japanese branch, and however, due to their size, they are easier targets for battleships and other cruisers. However, their AA gun batteries are also much better than any of the other classes, allowing them to screen your team's carriers and battleships for torpedo bombers and just dive bombers in general. Their secondary ability is the defensive fire. So this basically doubles the effect of the AA guns the ship has, allowing them to shoot down aircraft more effectively. Next is the battleship, and as you can see here, these are the big lumbering giants of the game. They are made to take damage and dish out huge amounts of damage. However, they have very low speed and they are very unmaneuverable. And unmaneuverable. There is also their special ability here that called the repair party. Basically, it allows them to recover a certain amount of health over a certain period of time. Usually that's about 30 seconds, and it's about 1/6 of the health of the ship. As you can see here, they have huge guns. However, their trade-off is their speed. Lastly, there's the carriers. Let me find my carrier here, and here it is. So carriers are basically the support class of the game. You can either load them up with a bunch of fighters to allow you to screen your battleships from enemy bombers and torpedo bombers, or you can load them up with your own torpedo bombers and dive bombers to allow you to take out other carriers and battleships. Mainly, people do stick to battleships and cruisers as their targets when they're playing a carrier, as destroyers and cruisers are way too quick and way too maneuverable to be hit by enemy torpedo and dive bombers. So, well, having shown you that, let's have a look at the tech tree here. So as you can see, right now I only have the 3 nations unlocked. Unfortunately, I did not get the HMS Warspite, which is a premium ship, and I'll explain that a little bit later on. So I do not have the British tech tree. However, you can see the 2 main tech trees are the Japan and the USA tech trees. The Japan, of course, has the famous Yamato right there, and as well as the Shimakaze and the Zao and the Hakuryu. pretty sure I pronounced that wrong, but forgive me, guys. Please correct me in the comments down below. Right here on the USA tech tree, there's the famous Midway class and Essex class aircraft carrier, as well as the Montana battleship, the Des Moines cruiser, and the Gearing and Fletcher destroyers. Most of these ships are very historically accurate. They actually pride themselves on their history, and most of these ships are actual ships. There are one or two prototypes, however, most of these ships did exist and have fought real battles. So without further ado, let's move on to some gameplay here, and I can show you how this game plays. Alright, just joking. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go over some of the system requirements here. The minimum requirements are basically nothing. It's basically if you own a computer, you can play it. This game is very, very old computer friendly. However, the biggest thing is that you do need 30 gigabytes of hard drive space to fit this game there. And honestly, in the days of 1 terabyte hard drives and such, you guys should have no problem finding more than enough room for that. So 2 gigs of RAM, that also might give some people some trouble. The biggest bottleneck I see here is probably the graphics card here. Luckily, it does work with the Intel HD graphics cards, which a lot of people seem to have. So well, now without further ado, let's get on to some gameplay. Alrighty folks, so right now, jumping into game here, I'm going to be playing the Tier 4 destroyer, the Izokage. Now, Japanese destroyers are basically torpedo boats, really. They are very, very good with their torpedoes. They're very hard to detect. However, their guns are lacking and their armor sucks. So if you get hit a couple times, you are going to explode. The match here is the map Ocean. Now, this basically is one of the worst maps in the game. However, it is a completely flat map. There's no obstacles, no islands. Usually there's islands in the way, but this one does not have any. So, as you can see, this is the interface of the game. On the bottom right here, you can see that there is the different types of shells, armor piercing, and high explosive. Now, depending on which class of ship you are and which class of ship you're going against, you want to go with either high explosive if you're doing ships with higher armor than you are, or higher armor than your guns can penetrate, or armor piercing if you think your guns can penetrate the ships. Now, usually with destroyers, you equip HE because your guns can barely penetrate anything. Now, I'm going to move up here. I'm going to do some scouting for my team here. Also on the bottom, as you can see, there's the torpedoes. Now, the torpedo interface is very, very nice. As you can see, there's a wide green arc here. This is basically the range where my torpedoes can fire. Now, a little bit later on, I can show you that they actually provide leads for you to fire your torpedoes. That's not the same with your guns. The guns, you kind of have to guess and aim. However, they do give you, as you can see right here, a very handy reticle here, which you can gauge distances as well as how far your opponent is. And if I press Alt here, as you can see the player's information, how far they are from you. Then you can learn to adjust your guns accordingly. So let's move up over here, and yeah, and another thing is the community here is actually quite nice. I've definitely been in several gaming communities such as like League of Legends and such, and this is definitely one of the nicest communities I've ever been in. Everybody's very helpful. There's a lot more teamwork than usual. Definitely did not see as much teamwork in Wargaming's other games such as World of Tanks or World of Warplanes. However, this community right here is definitely great in the teamwork department, shall we say. So let's have a little bit of a look at the mini-map here. As you can see, it's basically A to J, 1 to 10. You know, you can ping different areas. For example, if I wanted to say, hey, look, there is a destroyer there, you know, you can ping that and show that to your teammates, get their attention. You can also bind a key to actually mark an enemy ship, and I can show you that. I use that a little bit later on as well, to draw your teammates' attentions to it. And now, as you can see, guys, there are torpedoes in the water. I don't know where those are going, but there are torpedoes in the water. As you can see as well, our aircraft carrier has launched a bunch of those look like, yeah, those look like torpedo bombers and dive bombers to seek out the enemy ships. And yeah. Oh, and as well, there's different types of symbols on the minimap depending on what class the ship is. As you can see, there's the destroyer class right here. It's a little triangle. The little ship with the one line through it, that is a cruiser symbol. And the last one right there is a battleship symbol. And this one right here is the carrier symbol. So you can easily identify what is what. And oh my goodness, a Furtaka. So he's kind of sneaking up on the side there. I'm just going to let him go by. I want to get into the thick of things right here. So as you can see, someone's been deploying their smoke screen here. We can no longer see the destroyer. They're hidden and launching torpedoes at us. Probably a Japanese destroyer of some sort. Usually those have much longer range on their torpedoes than their American counterparts. Let's see if we can't sneak up on this this enemy Phoenix over here. Front. And as you guys can hear, the game also warns you when there's torpedoes coming your way. So it's actually a very, very beginner-friendly game. However, it is very difficult to master this game. And by the time you get to Tier 10, which takes tons of experience and money, which I will also talk about at the end of this game, by the time you get there, you shall be a master. Or you'll never get there because you think the game is boring. But hey, to each his own, hey. So let's activate the engine booster. As you can see, my ship is slowly accelerating a little bit quicker with a little bit higher of a top speed here. Oh, and he is down. It looks like our combined battleship and cruiser power was just too much for that little guy. So let's move in a little closer. And I am detected by an enemy plane, and it probably is that one right there. So let's pop the smoke screen here. You can see that little detect button goes away. Let's move into range. Now each ship for their torpedoes and guns have a different range. For this ship, I believe it's 8 kilometers. So I'm going to see if I can't get that Miyogi over there. Usually hitting with torpedoes at extreme range is not possible. I generally don't try it unless it's against battleships here. However, it does look like he he doesn't seem to be turning. So why not? Let's have a look. So as you can see, I have 3 torpedo tubes right here. These are the reloading times for the torpedo tubes. I have 37 seconds before I can fire again. Let's switch to our guns and fire some shots. So I'm going to lead the target a little bit here because he's a couple of shots and dodge. And no, I guess I don't have to dodge. No one cares. The little destroyer that could. So an enemy Minakaze. So as you notice in the team right here, there's different numbers between each of the different ships. Those are the ship's tiers. As you get higher in the tier ships, they have better guns, better torpedoes, more HP, that kind of stuff. Oh, torpedoes! Oh no! Can I get this? Yes, I can. I am good. Okay. Torpedoes are reloaded. Let's take out some first. Think about taking on the battleships here. As you can see, our team is moving towards their cap, their team is moving towards our cap. It's pretty standard. There's usually a meta between, depending on which map you guys are playing. This one basically is rush to your cap while leaving your carriers hopelessly trying to kill off the enemy before they get killed, while you try to cap the enemy's cap as quickly as possible. However, as the time changes, I expect these metas will change. With newer ships and newer techniques on the way, you just never know with these games, right? So I am missing horribly with my aim today. My aim is terrible. Okay, well let's get a little bit closer here. You're not even looking at me, and you can tell when engine is damaged. So I use my repair kit over here, as you can see. My engine is back up. I'm slowed a little bit, but as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, you can actually see if the enemy's aiming at you by the position of their guns. These guys don't even care that I'm here, so I will just sneak up and start firing right here. Let's fire a couple of torpedoes. As you can see, you can actually change the spread of your torpedoes. I have a narrow spread there because I'm pretty sure I can hit them, but fire a wider spread just in case. As well, with my torpedo tubes, they're only twin launchers, so they doesn't really matter if you have narrow or widespread. But oh my goodness, I am getting torn apart here. So let's get out of here for a sec. And as you can see, my torpedoes and my engine is damaged. Now, if you want to see how long they are out for, you can actually press Alt, and they will tell you how long it is before you're on ship. Wow, on ship repair crew can repair it. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Took too many risks there, and as you can see, the Cleveland, which, as I said before, cruisers are excellent at hunting down destroyers, and I actually just got caught in the crossfire and got hit by everything there. But after you're dead, you can do a couple things. You can press escape, go back to port, or you can actually zoom around the map and have a look at your allies and see how they're doing. As you can see, this guy's driving the Wyoming, and he looks like he's actually aiming at the New York over there. That is just got destroyed. And yeah, you can see just different ships that you don't own if you think they look cool, or if you notice someone's doing extremely well with a ship. You can definitely go ahead and try and research it on your own. So, as you can see here, this is the score screen. In the middle there, you can kind of see who's killed how many ships, and you can see the little numbers between each of them. Their names basically means they're in a party, so you can actually party with up to 3 friends, and you can go into a game like that with the teamwork of 3 people. Sometimes you can actually turn the entire game around. So, well, let's exit out here, and I can show you the score screen in a little bit. Alright, so it looks like this match ended in a draw. That happens when neither side accomplishes either the task of destroying all the enemy ships or capturing the enemy base while the timer is ticking down. So each match lasts for about 15 minutes. If within that time nobody does their job, then the match ends in a draw. So this is the score screen at the end of the game. You can see here, you can see that the game was a draw, who I am, and what I was destroyed by. So I was actually destroyed by the tier 6 Cleveland, 2 tiers higher than me, so I'm not too salty about that. So at the end of every game, you will earn credits, basically the in-game currency, and experience. Now these can be both used to purchase and or research other ships. Now this third one right here is called free EXP. So basically what that is it's experience that you can use towards ships, any other ships, because normally what would happen, and I'll show you this a little bit later on, is if you're trying to research a ship, you can only use experience that you gained on that ship to research things on that ship or the next ship within that line. However, free EXP, as we like to call it, can be used anywhere on any ship and any country. So under the battle performance here, I did pretty terrible. I only landed 2 hits. Usually I do better, but you know, having an off day today, I guess. And so let's have a look at the team score here. So you can see how much experience everybody else has earned. You can even click on them to get oh, I guess they haven't implemented that feature yet. They used to have it. Oh, no. Yeah, no. They used to have it where if you click on them, you get their own personal stats, but I believe that's only in World of Tanks now, and they might have taken it out in World of Warships. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, in the comments, for those of you who know this game. As well, right here, you can see how many ships were sunk, how many aircraft were destroyed. This bogue right here definitely was an anti-air machine there, and you can see right here as well what the enemy team did. Now, the enemy team, you know, and our team kind of did the same thing. Aircraft carriers definitely did their job here. So let's have a look at the detailed report here. Detailed report, now this is what I was talking about when I thought, you know, you can see other people's detailed reports. This is basically everything that you did in the game. So as you can see, I fired 19 shots. I hit 2 of those shots. Terrible accuracy here. And it did a total damage of 990. Of course, I did not use armor piercing, nor did I ever hit with my torpedoes, nor did I set people on fire. And yes, you can set people on fire in this game. Basically, it's a continuous DOT, damage over time damage, and they can actually extinguish it with their repair kit, as I repaired my engine in game 2. Over here you can kind of see what ships you hit. I hit the Minakazi and the New York. Over here, this is if you sunk the ship over here, this is how many hits you got it, and this is critically damaged. So when the enemy hit me in the engine and disabled me, that is what he would have earned a little bit earlier on. I can show you another score sheet here that has a lot more detail in the next little bit here. So secondary battery shells, I didn't fire any. I'm a destroyer. Usually destroyers don't have too many secondary batteries, and if so, if you're close enough to use it, you're probably dead. Aircraft, I definitely had no aircraft. Now, yes, you can ram people. Depending on the ship, though, I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, it does pretty big damage to either, to both sides there. Base capture points, didn't spend any time capturing the base, and reduced. So reduced and received. So the difference between the two are, if you receive base capture points is when you're capturing the enemy base. Reduced is if the enemy's in your base and you shoot them, you will actually lower their amount of cap points, and therefore basically you have defended your base against capture, and that is what that is right there. Starting time, as you can see, this was a 20-minute long game, so this was definitely one of the longer games. I guess I was wrong. The games aren't 15 minutes long. They are 20 minutes. I gotta get my facts straight sometimes, eh? Time spent in battle. I was only alive for 8 of those minutes. It's very common for destroyers not to make it to the end of the game. And I traveled 37.65 kilometers. So most of these numbers are, just good to have, but not necessarily, good, right? So damage received, I took a total of 14 shots for 10,300 damage. That's quite a lot of damage for a destroyer, but hey, you never know. Lastly here, so this is your credits in EXP. So this is with premium and without premium. Now there is a system called the premium system in this game. It's basically if you pay the premium currency, which is doubloons or real money, you get premium time. So it's kind of like in some games where you earn better loot or that kind of stuff. This game just gives you more EXP. As you can see, it's about a 1.5 times modifier for EXP, and it seems to be double the money almost. You also do have to pay to repair your ship and to supply the ammunition for your ship as well. So in order to make a break even, you have to do at least somewhat decent in the middle tiers, and in the higher tiers you most likely will lose money if you lose the game and your ship gets destroyed, because sometimes they can take thousands upon thousands of credits to repair and rearm. So you can see here I have received 27,500 doubloons, credits, and I only really had a profit of 20,267 credits after my repairs and refits were done. Down here you can see the amount of EXP I received. Yes, and the first battle of every day that you do on the ship will net you a 1.5 times multiplier, so basically gives you incentive to play every ship. As you can see there, I earned a measly 122 EXP. Now that's basically nothing. I can show you some other screens a little bit later here that you can earn upwards of close to 5,000 EXP, which speed things quite along. So we're gonna head over back to the port here. As you can see, the Aizokage, I've actually accumulated 10,481 EXP here, and I'm gonna head over to the modules here. As you can see, you can start researching things for your ship. Now I've got most of this stuff researched except for the Type 4 Mod 2. Now the gunfire control system usually increases the range of the ship, the engine, the speed of the ship, torpedoes, more damage, higher range. The hull usually is more HP, more gun mounts, and or more torpedo mounts, or usually though it's mostly just AA, anti-aircraft guns that increase. The main battery, it's how fast your ships fire and how powerful the guns are, how fast they reload, that sort of thing, right? So right here I'm going to quickly use 1,000 of my 10,000 EXP here to research. As you can see, it'll increase my range by 0.8 kilometers. So I'm going to go ahead and research that. Yes, for 1,000 regular EXP. I notice I'm not using any of my free EXP here. And purchase and mount, so these credits, basically what I earn from this battle, I can actually put that into there, and yes, I will mount it. So there you go. Now my ship is upgraded. It has better range, and yeah. Just one more thing to keep in mind here. You can convert your EXP now. Certain premium ships, or if you've researched everything in a ship, you can use the experience earned on that ship for what's called convertible EXP. So basically, you can convert all the EXP earned on that ship into free experience that you can use towards any other ships. However, that does take premium currency, and it can be quite pricey. As you can see, it's 1 gold per 25 free EXP. And Wargaming, they don't just sell you 1 gold. I believe the lowest is, I think, 400 or 600 gold for about $5 or $10. I gotta double check that. But all of this is purchasable at their website. In fact, actually, I can quickly open this up here, and yeah. So as you can see here, this is their page for their premium currency and premium ships, and there you guys go. Yeah, okay, so it looks like the lowest amount is 65,000 gold for 40 bucks, and I believe this is in Canadian. So yeah, well, there you go. So let's hop back into World of Warships here. So basically, that's a beginner's crash course to World of Warships. Now, of course, I haven't went over everything. There's tons of things that you can go over, from tactics to different types of ships, and more in depth on what their ships. Each ship has their own different stats. For example, the Murmansk here, it's a great sniper. You can see all its stats here. It's honestly, to go over this entire game would take days, but hopefully I have left you with enough knowledge for like a very, very basic view of World of Warships, and hopefully I'll see you guys in game. Feel free to add me if you guys ever see me in game, or say hi. I won't bite, or maybe I will. If you're on the opposite team, I might kill you. Do apologize for that ahead of time, but yeah. So thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button down at the very bottom there, and see you next time.